Hello and welcome to another edition of Santos on Sports alongside my good friend Chris Santos. I am Paul Santos. Oh, we are going to have some fun today. We're going to go down that Patriot schedule and come up with our own list and our own over-under. How many games are the Patriots going to win this year? First of all, let's thank our sponsor, Scotty's Pub, located at 202 Pleasant Street in Fall River, Citywide Glass, with 3 locations to serve you, as you know, in Dartmouth, Fall River, and Taunton. Lakeville Athletic Club, 325 Bedford Street in Lakeville, and John Seed, attorney at law, 156 8th Street in New Bedford. And you can check out all the information on him at johnseedlaw.com. So, Chris, what kind of a year are we going to have with the Patriots this year?
That's a great question, Paul. And listen, I've already reached out to a couple of guys just by texting and say, please join us on this show and call in. So we had Mark Sylvia, Mr. Guarantee, last week saying he's looking at 10. I got another buddy of mine, Jimmy Santoro, down in Florida. He says not many. I got another guy, Cliff Gonzalez, says 7 to be optimistic. So that's his prediction there for 7. But, hey, give us a call. Let us know what you think, what the New England Patriots. We'll put the schedule right up on the screen for you. You can go if you want game by game and give us a number. But, Paul, it's going to be quite interesting because I don't think it's been the preseason that New England fans around here have expected. The offensive line looks shaky. There's not much going on with the offense with Mac Jones and getting receivers downfield. And a lot of things are happening where they only had a roster of 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, and 7 receivers for a while there before other things over the last couple of days have changed. So I'm real optimistic, too, what this team's going to bring to the table. But we'll definitely get our predictions, me and you, very shortly.
So what is the greatest coach of all time doing? I just don't understand his strategy and what he's putting together here. I mean, your friend Cliff Gonzalez, he's saying 7 wins to be optimistic. Oh, man, even an optimistic guy is saying 7 wins.
Well, and he even came out and said, listen, this is not the Patriots of old where you're going to be 6-0 after the AFC East, playing Buffalo, playing the Jets, and playing Miami, like it used to be in the Tom Brady days for 20 years. Those teams have gotten a lot better, and we're not going to see that at all, probably for a while in the AFC East. That division has stepped up. Those teams have stepped up, and it's going to be difficult for New England to come out and win that division and make the playoffs.
And this particular year, the Patriots have one of the toughest, if not the toughest, schedules in the entire league. So it's like adding insult to injury when we're going down this schedule. So let's do it right here. Let's start out with the first 5 games of the season, okay? The Patriots open up against the team that went to the Super Bowl last year in Foxborough against the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think?
Well, that one there, listen, this is a good NFC East team. I think Dallas is good in that division. I think the Giants are kind of tough too. I think the Eagles will be prepared, and I think the Eagles make another run in the NFC. So keep an eye out on them. I think they take game 1 over the Patriots in New England.
Okay, we're going to put that down as a loss. All right, Miami.
This is where I think now the Pats bounce back. I think they come alive. Every time that Miami wants to come up here, they kind of have some difficulty. I'm going to take the Pats in this one, and I'm going to put them on board and be 1-1 after 2 weeks.
You know, it's interesting. Me too. I think the Patriots are going to sneak up on Miami this year, especially down here in Foxborough. I don't think they're going to win the one in Miami. So I'm going to agree with you. And now, you know what we're going to do here? We got a call coming in, and it happens to be Butch. So maybe we can have Butch play along with us here. Butch, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, fellas?
Pretty good. You see what we're doing here?
Yeah, you're going down the schedule and trying to predict if the Patriots will be victorious or will they be on the losing end.
All right, so let's start with Philadelphia and then Miami, 2 home games. What do you think?
Well, Philadelphia's that's going to be a tough game for anyone. That's a tough schedule, tough opener.
That's a loss?
Yeah, I mean, that's a Super Bowl quality team.
Okay.
I'm not sure the Patriots have redeemed or got back to that status yet. So, I mean,
All right.
I'll predict with my head instead of my heart.
Okay, what about Miami?
I tend to agree that those division games, it's tough to pick a winner in the NFL in division games. They play each other a lot. They know each other's schemes and process, so that very easily could be a win. I'm not saying an easy win, but it's a win that, is within reach.
All right, so Chris, what about at New York Jets?
So I'm 1-1, and to me, the New York Jets, it's going to be interesting because I want to see how they use Aaron Rodgers and some of the weapons he has. But I think Aaron Rodgers can handle the New York pressure. I think Aaron Rodgers can make this team better, and I think they will come out victorious, and New England will be 1-2 after the third week.
All right, I'm going to say that's a loss. I have this written out ahead of time, so I'm not being influenced by Mr. X's and O's over there. I got my own list right over here, so I have that down as a loss. Butch, do you have that as a win or a loss?
So is that a home game or are they in New York?
The first time it's at New York.
Yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers is going to have an impact, but I'll tell you what, their offensive line isn't anything great either. So they're gonna have to really work and correct some things to protect Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But that again, another division game in New York. That's a real tough one. But I'm probably going to lean, towards the Jets.
All right. All right. Now this one here, I'm really interested in this one here. This one here, I'm having a really hard time because I'm going down to Dallas to actually see this game in person. So I'm really having a hard time with this game. So let's go to Chris Santos. What do you think about the one in Dallas?
Listen, Paul, you're going to be there. I'm taking Dallas no matter what in this game. If you're going to be in Dallas and you're root for New England, every time you go watch them or any other team, they usually lose. I got to take my Cowboys in this one.
Well, I have it down as a loss, but when we get to the end, and see where we are, I might go back and switch this one, but I'll make it definite. So there's no swapping during the season or anything like that. I think the Patriots have a chance to upset them, especially if your quarterback is playing there, know, Mr. No It factor.
True.
Butch, what do you think? You think the Patriots can go down there and upset Dallas?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, if you want to call it an upset, that's definitely a game that the Patriots have to look at on their schedule, and that's a must-win for them.
So you think they're going to win? If you have to predict,
especially if they go into that game 1-2, that's a must-win for them. I see some urgency. I see them winning the game.
Wow! All right, man. I hope you're right. Now, New Orleans, they don't look like they're good this year. They're not really ranked that high in the power rankings. I mean, that's a must. The Patriots have to win that one. I mean, they got to win the New Orleans game. So I'm going to give them a W on that one. Although the last time New Orleans came in, I don't know, the Patriots couldn't get anything going against them. But I'm going to say the Pats win that one.
Paul, and wasn't that a game you went to?
Yes, it was. That's why they lost.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this year you won't be there. I think the Pats turning around. They win this one, and I'll have them at 2-3 after 5 games.
All right, and that's what I have too. And then I'm going to even go out on a limb and say, you know what? I don't know. I don't think Vegas is that great. I think Vegas is overrated. I think the Patriots go out there and take that one at Las Vegas.
I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think the
right.
McDaniels Belichick factor of going against one another will favor the veteran, and he'll find a way to get it done against McDaniels, and they'll beat the Raiders and be 3-3.
Butch, what do you think?
So New Orleans, the Patriots don't lose to that team at home in New England. I got them winning that game. That my son's going to that game. That's his team, New Orleans.
Oh,
so, but they're not going to let them come into New England, and they're not going to lose that game.
All right,
so what do I have, man? 3-2 right now.
All right, yeah, I think you got one game.
Now the Raiders. Butch, now they go to the Raiders. Who do you like there?
Yeah, that's a tough one. With my heart, I think they can win that game, but I'm not sure. I think McDaniels is going to be ready. This is going to be a different team this year, Chris. I think the Raiders are going to be have a stronger defense. One more year with McDaniels. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Oh boy! All right.
So now you have them at 2-4.
No, 3-3, right?
3-3. Yes, he's got a 3-3 just differently than our 3-3.
Okay, so everyone's 3-3.
Everybody's 3-3. All right. So
All right.
now these next two, okay, we'll lump these together because they're AFC East and they're teams that are certainly on paper better than the Patriots. I mean, we have the Patriots beating them at Foxborough, but I don't see them beating them down there. So I'm going to say they lose to Buffalo and they lose to Miami.
I'm going to go with the same. I think Miami takes a little revenge after losing up in New England. So they come home, they do a better job. Again, that hopefully Tua is still playing by then and he's healthy and he's not on the concussion protocol or something. So I'm going to go with the health factor, but I agree. And I'm going to say it's 2 losses there and go 3-5.
Butch, what do you say?
Yeah, those are two top ones there. 2 division games. Buffalo, I don't care if it's home or away. How can you realistically pick the Patriots to win that game sitting where we are right now with the limited information? I agree. I think they're 3-5 at this point in the season.
All right. Washington is ranked like at the bottom of the league. Indianapolis is ranked at the bottom of the league. I know there's both home games. We got to get those 2. I say we get those 2 and we're 5-5 at the bye.
I'm going to go with you, Paul. I think they can beat.
You and I are right on the money so far.
I think they can beat the Commanders, and usually Patriots do well out in Europe, and they're going out to Frankfurt to play that one against the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be able to handle that one, and again come out 5-5.
All right, Butch.
Yeah, I like the way it's going. Those are 2 with their schedule. Those are 2 must wins. They got to find it. They got to find a way to win both those games. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's get to what is essentially the second half here after the bye, sort of like coming down the home stretch, and they play a game at New York. Interesting one here. I don't know if you want to go first. Why don't you go first, Chris? But I already have a decision on all these games. So what do you think about the Giants?
All right. Well, if I'm looking at all 4 games, the only one I think is a win is at Pittsburgh because I think Belichick loves to play Mike Tomlin, and he usually handles them well. He schemes against them good. But I have them losing to the Giants, Chargers, and Chiefs. So at 5-5, obviously that's 3 losses. There's 8. Beating Pittsburgh, I got them at 6-8.
All right. Well, I'm starting to go off the rails here a little bit. I think they're going to upset the Giants, so to speak. I think they can go down there and win that game.
Okay.
And I also think they can beat the Chargers because they always seem to find a way to beat the Chargers for some reason. I don't know.
Okay.
They always seem to pull off those wins.
Yep.
So I'm really going to go out on a limb and say that they win those 3 in a row before losing to Kansas City. I know. I think I'm going off the rails.
Well, now listen now, Paul. Now remember, you're talking about a 5-game winning streak because you said they're going to beat the Commanders and the Colts prior to those 3.
Oh, yeah, you're right about
Remember that.
All right, I might have to reconsider this, but
no. That's your theory. You're right on it. Go ahead.
All right. I mean, Mr. Guarantee must have a 7 or 8 game winning streak somewhere during the season here. But Butch, what do you think?
Yeah, until the Chargers can prove to me that they can beat the Patriots, I'm going with the Pats.
This is the year they do it.
Well, maybe so, but I'm going with the Pats on that game. And the Chiefs, obviously, that would be a huge upset for the Patriots to come away with it, but I don't believe that they can upset the Chiefs. And the Giants are tough. It's up in New York, a Dabo team. I'm going with the Giants. They beat us up. They beat us all the time, no matter how bad they are. We have more championships and we're great at football team overall, but we just seem to not be able to beat the Giants, All
right, so right now I have Chris at 6-8, myself at 8-6. I'm not sure where Butch is. Butch is somewhere in there.
I should be 5-8, I believe. Is that right? 13 games?
Y'all 5-8?
Yeah, I was 5-5 going into this one, and I only like 1 win. Oh, so okay, could be 6-8. Is that right?
Yeah, 6-8. I'm 8-6.
6-8. All right, you're 8-6. Okay,
but we're different on this.
You're 8-6.
6-8.
You're 6-8. Okay. Yeah. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna say Don't put any money on any of my predictions. I'm going to say they beat Denver and then lose the last two. And they finish it, what is that, 9-8.
All right. I'm going to say lose to Denver, lose to Buffalo, but beat the Jets.
Okay, all right. So
That's
you
fine.
end up, let's see, you end up at 7-10.
Correct.
7-10. Oh, well, how depressing is that?
Hey, listen, I'm going with Cliff Gonzalez and be optimistic.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Butch, what do you think?
Yeah, I am. Just because you said Cliff, I am not going with Cliff. I like him beating Denver, Chris.
Yeah.
And I like him upsetting the Jets.
Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, I know I went with 9 wins last year too, and they didn't have it, but I'm liking a strong finish. Hopefully, things will get better. We'll see. With the information we have, that's what I'm going with.
All right, so Butch is 9-8 also.
Yeah.
Oh boy, now Mr. Guarantee from Chicago, I don't know if he's able to watch today or not. I know he's traveling around. He has the Patriots winning 10 games. So I don't know what games he thinks they're going to win in this schedule, because they really only have maybe 6 games or so that you would think, gee, they should win these games. So now they got to win another 4, and I'm looking up and down this schedule. I mean, he's probably thinking maybe Dallas, maybe a Miami upset.
Well, remember, he guaranteed they would beat the Eagles in the opener.
Yeah, that's right, too. That's another one. Hey,
Yes.
I'll tell you, if they come out there and beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the first game, we might have to do the whole thing over again.
Well, hey, listen, listen, we won't have to, but he will be on our show the following week saying, I told you so.
Yeah. Except he's 0-3 with a guarantee, so he could end up being 0-4. But anyway, Butch, I don't know. I'm looking at Belichick, right? And I hate to be critical, because Belichick knows more about football in his tip of his finger than I do all through my body. But I'm thinking to myself, gee, this guy's the greatest coach of all time. I would think, and I was telling Chris and I were talking before we went on, but it's not so easy to win. It's not so easy to get in the playoffs. Yeah, but if you're the greatest coach of all time, how do you roll out a Mac Jones without surrounding him with a lot of talent? How do you roll out an offensive line that's a disaster? How do you blow like one first-round pick after another? How do you keep, stacking up the defense but don't do anything for the offense, even though the rules favor the offense? A lot of these decisions he's made over the last 5 years since Brady left, I just don't understand it.
Here's the thing, Paul, and Chris is right, and Chris and I have had this conversation. First of all, to win in the NFL is very difficult. The rules with the draft, the league is set up for equity, for people, so that the rules are actually set up so there aren't, teams that win year after year after year. The rules are set up so that, the smaller market teams or the weaker teams have an opportunity to improve year after year, and they really want to have equity and competition, from year to year. Bill Belichick figured out early on how to manipulate through that and be a consistent winner. However, not only is it hard to win in the NFL and the rules are really against folks who, do well year after year, they lost Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a huge loss. One way or the other, Tom Brady was leaving, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they didn't manage that well. And I would have hated to have been the one that had to call the shots on that. They should have traded him when he was worth more, or they should have kept him. But the way that they did it, no one comes out as a winner, and they wouldn't have came out a winner either way.
All right, Chris, what do you think about all that?
No, I mean, me and Butch talk about this an awful lot. I agree with him. A lot of parity in the league now, and remember, when you win, you're going to lose some draft, and you're going to go down to like 30th and 31. Compared to other teams who are now moved up in the draft because now they either made a trade or they had a bad year, and maybe it was, just certain things, a player here and there, and now they pick 1, 2, and 3 and they get better. So, I mean, that's what the draft is about. Free agency, came in afterwards. So that turns a lot of heads, and now where money talks and people take off. So they can leave teams like that and say, hey, I want it for the money and go other places. So it's not easy to replace sometimes what you give up. And again, that run that they've had of 20 years will probably never be duplicated. So enjoy it. And unfortunately, it's just not going to be, that way all the time.
That's right. Hey, Chris, one other thing I wanted to bring up. Look at the teams who have won the Super Bowl in recent years and what they've done following years. Look at the Rams. Everybody said, you can beat the salary cap. They signed everyone. They stink.
Yeah.
They haven't won since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but at least they went all in that 1 year,
They did. Yeah, that's not the Patriot style. That's a true story.
No,
that's a different approach.
No, but still, and again, I understand it's hard to win in the NFL. I know you echoed a lot of what Chris has said, and, we had the greatest quarterback of all time. But if you have the greatest coach of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't the greatest coach of all time at least get you a couple of games over 500? You know what I mean? I'm not asking for Super Bowls. I'm just asking for like, hey, you go in there, you grab a Tyreek Hill, or you sign that offensive lineman that you didn't want to pay, and you keep that cornerback that wants a little extra money, and just do a few things to help the guys that are out that are there. He's not doing it.
Yeah, it's been a tough goal. It's been a tough goal, Paul.
Listen, at the same time, but you're not talking about a team that's only got 1 or 2 wins. This is a team that still gives you, 8, 9, right around there, the chance to make the playoffs so far in the years that they've had Mac Jones. Even with a Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback coming into the league, which is very difficult, they're still finding a way to make 8 or 9 wins compared to only 1 or 2 or 3. I mean, I don't think that's that bad. I really don't, because I've seen other teams come in with rookie quarterbacks and try it and really get smashed and lucky to win 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Butch, I'm going to let you go. I actually have some calls stacking up over here, believe it or not. So we want to see what some of the people think.
Have to say.
Fair enough.
Thanks,
all right,
Butch.
thank you very much.
All right,
okay, let's see.
Who we got?
Hello, you're on Santos on Sports. Mark from Chicago.
Hey.
Hey, guys, I can't hear my name without calling in here.
Yeah, your ears must have been ringing.
They were, and so was your phone.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Guarantee. We got the schedule over here. We don't have to go up and down the whole schedule.
Yeah. Paul's going to go over the schedule. I got to figure out which games you're thinking to give me 10 wins for the New England Patriots. Go, Paul.
Listen, guys, the first thing I agree with everything Paul said. Like, Belichick, come on. Like, this guy, what I struggle with is how you can be such a brilliant football person and yet make mistake after mistake after mistake from a personnel perspective. That's a puzzling for me. But anyways, hey, I've got him 6-3 at home, and I've got him 4-4 on the road, and I've got him 3-3 in the division. Okay.
Wow.
You're shaking your head there, Mr. Santos.
Wait, hold on. Before I shake my head, I want to go back. Do you simulate what you said about Bill Belichick when they were winning for 20 years? Did he make the right moves? Did he make the right people? Why are you saying it after the time that Brady's gone and the last 3 years have not been good? Can you say the same thing for the 20 years when they were winning and being consistent year after year after year?
You're asking that to me, right?
No, I'm asking that to Mark, who
talked
about Bill not making all the right decisions.
That a million times, guys. I mean, you can't make the same decision. Let me put it a different way. Tom Brady can make up for a lot of mistakes from a personnel perspective. Now, listen, he's done a great job over the years piecing together a hell of a defense. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
But on the offensive side of the ball, Tom Brady makes up for a lot of those mistakes. So, yeah, you're damn right. Once Tom Brady walks out the door, now listen.
Okay, so was Randy Moss a mistake?
Quarterback on the roster and 2 running backs. Come on.
Well, okay, is Randy Moss a mistake? Is Wes Welker a mistake? Is Danny Amendola a mistake? With those guys' mistakes, I know Brady can make those guys even better.
Right.
But I don't think those are mistakes as much as the running backs that they've had in the past as well.
So I'm going to ask you a question, Chris.
Yeah, sure.
Did you know who the hell Wes Welker was when they signed him? Because I didn't.
Well, from prior past, probably not. But that's what I'm saying. He developed and picked up a guy in the slot.
He didn't make a mistake. Tom Brady made Wes Welker. Randy Moss was the exception. We knew him. But
Yeah, but you still got to have the guys in the right position.
He's saying that
guys for the right position.
He's saying that Amendola was a stiff until he was playing with Tom Brady.
Okay, here's the question. What did Danny Amendola do before Brady, and what did he do after Brady?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. But let's get back to the
kind of like Belichick.
I have to look it up.
Amen.
Ooh.
Hey, let's go back real quick to the schedule. So when you look at the division, and I'm always going to give them a loss at Miami. They just never play well at Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to give them 2 losses against Buffalo. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily going to go down the line here. I'm going to split it, like I said, division, home, and away.
Right.
So I'm going 0-2 against Buffalo. Okay. And I'm going to split with Miami. And I'm going to put 2-0 against the Jets. I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not sold on the Jets.
I like that.
So that's where I get to 3-3. And hey, guess what? That's 500. 500 in the division.
I'm really curious about the Dallas game.
I'm putting that as an L. Okay. And it's not just because you're going to be there, Paul.
Oh yeah, that's a
it is.
But listen. Surprisingly, I'm coming out of the gates 3-0.
Philadelphia, Miami, and the Jets. You think they're going to win all 3 of those?
Well, again, listen, I got to
holy
stick to my
smokes.
bravado. Philadelphia is probably a mistake. I think your last caller mentioned it. Listen, Super Bowl team, but I said they were going to win. Now we know I guaranteed it. They'll probably lose, but none that aside, I got them winning that. I got them winning Miami, and I got them winning against the Jets.
Okay.
I have them losing against Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I have them winning against the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I have them winning against Las Vegas.
That's 5-1.
Because McDaniels is a bum, and who knows if Jimmy. Hey, listen.
Wow.
Hey, listen. And Garoppolo might not even be playing at that time. You don't know. If Garoppolo's not playing, who's the quarterback? So I got that as a win.
Oh, no, wait. Before you go any further, what's the record? Like 5-1, 6-1? I mean, you really think the Patriots are going to start off like that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5-1. I do.
5-1, they'll be in first place, for God's sake.
Yep.
They're going to run into well, okay, it gets better. So I got them losing to Buffalo, and I got them losing to Miami.
Okay.
I got them winning against Washington and winning against Indy.
All
so
right.
what is that? That's 7-3.
Okay.
And they're going to be talk of the NFL at that point.
All right. Next 4 games.
I got them winning against the Giants. I got them losing the next 3. I got now the Chargers could be one. Dallas could be another one. It goes either way.
Yeah.
But I got them losing against the Chargers at home. I got them losing at Pittsburgh on the road.
Really?
That's a tough spot. Tough team, tough spot. And I got them losing at home against Kansas City.
So they're going on a losing streak.
3-game losing streak. So what is that? That'll be 8-6.
All right. So here we go. Now let's see the home stretch. This is going to tell us where you end up.
Well, he says they're going to beat the Jets.
Loss at Buffalo, win at the Jets.
Yep.
Win at home against the Jets.
So they're 10-7. 10-7.
And I'm telling you right now, you can lock and load that. Put your money on it. It's a guarantee.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Hey,
That's a kiss of death.
Mark, by the way, Brian Hoyer is the backup to Jimmy G in Vegas.
Hey, listen, I've been wrong. I've been wrong once or twice. Paul thinks more than that, but I've been wrong once or twice.
Once or twice.
Right now, they will not lose. They will not win less than 10 games. They will not.
That's what you said when you were on my other show too. I almost dropped the microphone.
I think you might have. Yeah.
What did he say? Put it in. Did you say lock it up and put it away or something like that?
Listen, 10 games. They're going to win. They what did they win last year? I don't remember.
They were 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
8 and 9. With Matt Patricia calling the plays, and I think, and I said this last show, defense is going to be better.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
I got some people that show the defense being a top 3, maybe top defense in the league.
Well,
so they won 8 games. I don't think it's a stretch to win 2 more games with a confident play caller.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I mean, Chris and I were talking before. I mean, the difference between 7 and 10 is like this much, right? It probably comes down to 5 or 6 plays during the course of the whole season. That's what decides these things, you know?
It could go either way.
All right, so I want to get this down. I got my pen right here because I don't want to be misquoted or anything.
Right.
You're guaranteeing the 10 wins. Is that right? Minimum. They could win more than 10. They could win more than 10, right?
Well, Paul, if you seem to have more wins than you originally said. What do you got? 9 wins?
Yeah, I got 9 and 8, and I think that's a shaky 9 and 8. But I'm going to stay with it because, hey, I had to make a decision, so I made a decision. But
listen, there's a lot of things here. I mean, listen, I got them losing to Dallas. I got them losing to Pittsburgh. I got them losing to the Chargers. You know, I mean, I'm banking on the Colts. Denver could go. Listen, Denver could be tough, but I got them winning that game. I got them losing 2 to Buffalo. I got them splitting with Miami. This is not unreasonable. What I'm saying.
No, it's not. No, those games are going to be close. You know,
but listen, okay, you take the Eagles game and say I'm wrong there. There's 9 wins instead of 10.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Guarantee. Thank you very much for calling. We're going to move on to our next call. Always a pleasure.
You're using my name in vain. I had to call.
Good luck this season, Mark.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey, I love you guys. We'll see you.
All right, talk to you later.
Talk to you.
Okay, let's go to Nelson in Fall River. Thank you for holding. You're on Santos on Sports.
No problem, guys. How's everyone doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. Have you been listening to what we're talking about, predicting the Patriots schedule?
I just tuned in.
Okay. I guess we're asking the question, like, how many wins do you think the Pats are going to have? We pretty much have people in the 7, 8, 9, 10 range right now.
I'm going to go with 8.
8 and 9. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to put Nelson down for 8 and 9. That's a reasonable.
Put that down.
Yeah, that was the same exact thing that they had last year was 8 and 9. Now, what makes you say?
I like Mark's explanation when he came on.
Mm-hmm.
And Nelson, if you weren't listening, Mark talked about the different games that he could win. And with Matt Patricia last year, they got Bill O'Brien this year. The difference for me is, that defense might have got better, but I think other teams have gotten better as well. And I think the schedule is tougher than what it's been in the last couple of years also this year. That's why I'm not giving that mark of, he said 10. I'm with you there, Nelson. I'm at 7. You're at 8. So I'm more sided toward you than I am with Mark.
Yeah, the schedule is getting tougher.
Yeah,
for sure. I think they only have one quarterback. I don't even think they have a backup. I think that should change before the season opener. But the Patriots have a lot of things to fill in. They have a lot of unknowns, and
I have to ask the question again. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but how does the greatest coach of all time not know who the backup quarterback is? How does the greatest coach of all time have an offensive line that's like like a line of crap? I mean, now he's trying. Now he gets rid of Folk, who was pretty much automatic, kicking field goals and everything. Now he's going with this backup rookie guy. I don't know that you could lose a lot of games with that. I mean, how many games did Vinatieri win over the years? And Gostkowski.
Well, here's my only thing. Here's my only thing with that thinking with Bill Belichick. Now, again, I'm guessing he's going to get a backup when the season starts. You have to. But let's say he doesn't, and God forbid that the quarterback, the starter, gets injured. What the hell's going to happen then?
Well, they did resign. They did resign Zappi. Am I correct, Paul?
Yeah, Zappi walked back on, and they took him. But I don't know. He doesn't seem to fit in Bill O'Brien's system too well.
All right. Well, that's good. At least they got something as a backup plan.
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen with the Patriots.
Yeah. What is it about them that concerns you that makes you say that they're going to be 8 and 9?
I just don't like New England. Period. I'm not
That's
a
it.
Patriots fan. I come from New York.
He's from New York, Paul.
Absolutely no faith. I will never have faith in New England teams ever.
Nelson, then how are you even giving them 8 wins? I'm surprised you even gave them that.
Generous. I'm just being generous.
Well, thank you for that.
But I will say this, though. Belichick's a smart guy.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty sure they will figure it out. But I have no hopes.
Mm-hmm. So who are you rooting for? You root for what, the New York teams?
This is the thing is I don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to do. I
well,
don't
right.
know. He seems to be one of them players that tend to be a headache, so to speak.
I think that's what Mark or Butch was saying there earlier. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I want to take it real quick to another sport in New York.
Mhm.
I'm a Yankees fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so upset as to what has happened this year.
Mm-hmm.
How does a team win the East last year, and then you have this year? Like, really?
Hey, a lot of those guys with the big contracts are coming through, you know.
Listen, look, Aaron Boone, he needs to go. I mean, he had a good run. He needs to go. Brian Cashman, he needs to go.
Wow, Nelson's on fire.
It is time to bring in the captain, Derek Jeter.
Ooh.
Derek Jeter needs to come in, take over for Cashman, get a new, just to start fresh. We need to start fresh. This is an atrocity of what the Yankees fans had to
listen, Nelson, this is where I'm going to agree with you, because the Yankees organization does not like failure. I can tell you that. And when things go bad, they make quick decisions and they change a lot of things. So I'm going to agree with you here. I think they're going to make some changes. I'm not specifically sure what that's going to be, but the Yankees will not be compliant with being in last place in American League East. They will do something about that. No doubt about it. I agree with you 100%.
It's just this is not pinstripes baseball. This is not how it is. I mean, I feel bad for the radio guy who does, the one and only who does the radio, who calls the games over the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for all of New York fans who had to deal with this season. I think if Jeter is open to it, bring him down. Bring him down. Bring the El Capitan down.
All right.
He needs to come back home.
All right, Nelson. Well, thank you very much for your call, and I've got your prediction down here. And at the end of the year, we're going to bring them all back and see how everybody did. But I think 8-9 is a reasonable prediction as far as the
I say 5 wins. I say 5 wins, 4 wins.
Wait a minute. You can't change it now.
Going anywhere.
All right. All right. Thanks very much.
Everyday holiday.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. Let me just mention here real quick that we got a couple of comments. Let me see. Mario Pereira has them at 4-13.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Dave Agoro has them 6 if they split with the Jets, 5 if they don't. So 5-12 or 6-11.
Write that down.
Louis Silva has them at 5-12. Oh, my God. Another one. Wow. This is just like one disaster after another. I mean, man, we're like really hurting over here. And then I wanted to get a quick shout out to my friend Jeremy Silverfine, who's watching up in Boston. Thank you for looking in. Which of you two guys will be the backup to Mac Jones?
Ooh.
That's the first question.
I think I win that one, Paul.
I think you win that one.
I got a little more talent, I think.
Yeah. And then when are you firing Chaim Bloom? Okay, that's another question. I don't know. I think we give him one more year. And then let's see. Jeremy Silverfine also says, can we just fire Chaim Bloom, fire Belichick, and fire Missoula all on the same day just to save time?
Wow, that's a lot going on right there in Boston.
And then he says, love the show. So he liked that last part.
Hey, thanks.
Man, we got a lot of people a little grumpy today there. You know what I mean?
You wound them up, Paul. This is big time now. Listen, next Thursday's game opening day. You got Kansas City and Detroit, and then the fireworks come on Sunday. So people are excited. They're ready for the NFL. You got predictions for us. Call us right there, 774-762-6234. Let us know what you think. Or, as these guys have been doing, they've been putting it out there on Facebook and texting us and letting us know what they predict. Let us know what you think.
All right. Now let's go to Ryan from Rochester. First of all, thanks a lot for hanging on. Welcome to the show.
No problem. Thanks for no problem at all. Actually, Holding gave me some time to actually write down my predictions. You ready?
Sure. You want me to go to? Let me put it up.
Listen, this is Ryan's one of our locals. Let's go to the list, Paul.
Yeah. Let me just flip over here to the list.
Get that list.
All right. You're gonna go one at a time. Write down the thing, right?
5.
All right. Here we go.
All right. First game.
Yep.
Loss against the Eagles. I think the pass rushers, even though they're coming up a Super Bowl loss hangover, possibly, I think that pass rush is going to be too much for this porous offensive line.
Okay.
Week 2, I think this is finally the time that they quote unquote break through and beat Tua at home.
Okay.
Week 3. I'd say that they lose the first game to the Jets for the first time since 2015 that they lost to the Jets.
Mhm.
I think to start off, the Jets are going to have this big spark. They might even beat Buffalo week 1. They might start off 3-0.
Okay.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I think they take an L to the Cowboys week 4 down in Arlington. I think as sharp as Derek Carr looked in the preseason, he looked like he was pinpoint accurate. I think Dennis Allen sucks as a head coach, so I think he's going to make a mistake that Belichick takes advantage of. So I think they got their second win there. I just have them
I'll switch that.
to the
All right,
Raiders.
wait a minute here. Let me see. Where's my?
I'll switch
my
that. He's 2-3 after 5 games.
all right, so he had the win against New Orleans. Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right, win against New Orleans. I think they lose against the Raiders because I just feel like McDaniels has a thing when it comes to going up against Belichick, and he has a quarterback in Garoppolo who sure is injury prone, but I think he's a much better fit in that system.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Next one. Lost to Buffalo. Of course, I'm going to have
Okay.
Buffalo sweeping them, so you could mark that for week 17 as well.
All right.
I think they lose to Miami in Miami because they always have trouble playing down there. I think they win against the Commanders, but it's going to be a lot more nip and tuck than people think because I think Sam Howell looks really good. Obviously, I think they win against Indianapolis because they're a dumpster fire right now, and they're just throwing a kid who's not ready into the fire. They really should have started Gardner Minshew. There's one that you guys might find surprising. I actually have them losing against the Giants, and I think tell me, you can tell me as much as you want that I'm drinking the Brian Daboll Kool-Aid.
Mhm.
But I thought Daniel Jones looked really sharp in the preseason, even without Saquon Barkley out there. I think Darren Waller is going to be a big-time weapon for them. I can't wait to see what this Jalen Hyatt kid does because he's got some serious speed. So I got some speed there. So I think they lose to the Giants there. I think they win against the Chargers because kind of like what I was talking about with Dennis Allen. Brandon Staley kind of sucks, and he's probably going to pull something stupid that Belichick's going to take advantage of. I think they win there. Because of how sharp Kenny Pickett has looked, I got them losing to Pittsburgh this time. Obviously, they're going to lose to the Chiefs. As much as I wanted to say that they lose against the Broncos because I love Sean Payton, between how bad Denver's offensive line has looked and with Vance Joseph calling the plays on defense over there, I think they're going to take advantage of that, and I think they're going to win that game. And then to home stretch down the last 2, I think they lose against Buffalo again, and they win at home against the Jets.
All right. So what do we got here?
7-10.
My man, Ryan. Me and you, Ryan. My man.
Another 7-10. Oh, this is going to be depressing.
Me and Ryan, right on the same page. Maybe not in that order like he said it, but
Yeah, right. Mhm.
7-10. I'm right with you, Ryan. Let's do it.
All right. So on the very high side, we've got Mr. Guarantee Mark at 10-7.
Yep.
And then on the low side, it looks like Ryan and Chris are at 7-10. I don't know. The guy from Fall River, he started out 8-9, and the next thing you know, he was much lower than that. Some of our people that have commented, we have one person here that predicted 4 wins. Like, wow, this is going to be rough. So
I heard that one.
Yeah, so it's too bad because, I don't know, Ryan, it seems to me that, again, the greatest coach of all time, why do we have a bad offensive line? Why don't we have, more weapons around Mac Jones? It seems to me there's a few things we could do to make 7 wins, 9 wins, or 10 wins.
I agree with that. And usually offensive line hasn't been an issue up until the past couple of years. I think it's just mainly neglecting the entire right side of the offensive line. I still think, Trent Brown, when motivated, can still be a pretty good left tackle. We'll see how Cole Strange develops. We all know what David Andrews is as a center, but between, trading away Shaq Mason to the Bucks last year, and now it's just rotating between Isaiah Wynn, Riley Reif until they moved him inside the guard. And who knows if they're even thinking about putting Michael Wenu out there. And for all we know, it could be City Sow starting at right tackle week 1. And I don't even know how healthy Calvin Anderson's going to be. I can't judge what the right tackle situation is going to be like because I've barely seen, again, Anderson out there. That's just the biggest question mark on the line.
Ryan, if I'm defensive coordinators, I got to look at how can New England beat us besides the screen pass and the dink and dunk? Who can he get downfield? And I don't think they have anything. So to me, it's cover the screens, and obviously you have to stop Stevenson in the backfield. Stevens in the backfield. So they do that. Defensive coordinators should be chomping at the bit to come after Mac as much as they can, as long as they cover that screen. And because I don't see how they're moving the ball down the field with the weapons that they have. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either, unless Mario Douglas really is what he's been.
Yeah. If someone steps in that we don't think supposed to step in.
All right, so Ryan, like, why can't Bill Belichick, make some adjustments here to get this team over the hump? I mean, that offensive line, like, why didn't he sign, a Pro Bowl offensive lineman when he had a chance to re-sign one of those linemen a couple of years back, the tackle? I don't know. Just and then hey, somebody wants a little bit more money, he lets them go. Gilmore's an example. Now again, maybe he wanted too much money, but I'm just saying, like, it just seems like there's a few things he could do here and there. I mean, the 30th in the league in spending, right? So why can't they just go out there and like fill a few holes here? Because if you can win 7 games, it only takes a few more really good players to turn 7 into 10, right?
Exactly. And when you talk about the money, I mean, how about being more aggressive in the draft, trade up to try and get a tackle instead of trading down and letting Pittsburgh grab Broderick Jones, just to quote unquote screw over the Jets out of getting him. At least that's what I've seen some reports of, supposedly. But I think it's just lack of aggressiveness when it comes to the positions. I'm pretty sure I told you guys this before via text. I'd have been fine with, skipping out on a guy like DeAndre Hopkins if you were, being aggressive and spending money at say, the offensive line to make sure that you're protecting Mac Jones to maybe give more times to these receivers to get open, because, we don't have anyone who's going to get open like that, in a split second. So these guys need time to get open. It's not going to help at all. So.
Well, I got to tell you, our own Chris Santos right here, who I have a lot of faith in, already has a game plan to like beat Bill Belichick, right? So like the greatest coach of all time, with all due respect to Chris Santos, who I have a great deal of faith in with the X's and O's and everything else, how can you come up with a plan that beats Belichick before the game even starts? And I think you're right. I think whatever plan you have is going to work. What happened to the greatest coach of all time here? Come on, guys.
Well, listen, that can easily change, but Bill has done his system, Ryan, for years. They've always traded down in the draft. He always wanted to get more picks. And then he would say, okay, battle it out in those positions, and I'll make those guys better, and so forth and so on. I think those days are kind of over. I think you need to make that transition. You need to step up now and then. And when something really pops up and say, hey, I'm really lacking in the offensive line here, I think I should trade up this year or make something different. I don't know if you can continue to do what you're doing, even though, see, it's worked in the past. So maybe that's why he continues to do what he does. So there's a lot of different ways to think about it. But, with free agency and you got money to spend, when there's guys there, people want to play for you. You're a winning organization. It's not like they're not going to want to play for you. They want to go out and be a New England Patriot.
Now, Ryan, are you working right now?
Yeah, I'm on my break as we speak.
Ah, yes. Well, your loyalty, we just love the fact that you find a way. You find a way. And then you went through the whole schedule and you came up with your 7 and 10. So you and Chris, you guys at the end of the year, if it's 7 and 10, you guys are going to be rubbing it in my face. And I know that I think my prediction was affected by my heart just a little bit. You know what I mean? Hey, that Dallas game, you guys don't have to worry because I'm going to be at that game.
So, no kidding. Let's go.
Yeah, so you know what that means. That means the Patriots have no chance.
The Paul Santos curse.
That's correct.
Right here, Ryan. Look, the L. L. That's the ball's going. Can be an L.
All right, hey, Ryan, always nice to hear from
Ryan.
you. Take care.
You too, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Ryan from Rochester here on Santos on Sports. Okay, let's see. I got a comment over here.
Yep.
Let me see. Decon.
Yeah.
Decon says the Patriots.
Detroit Lion, Decon.
Yeah, Decon. He says the Pats win maybe 7.
Oh. He's
That's
with
kind of
me.
like what Cliff said. Cliff was looking at it
Yeah,
optimistically.
he was with me. 7.
Butch Ferreira chimed in here. I know he called earlier.
Yep.
Losing Skarnecki is a giant hurdle to overcome.
Mhm.
And then he also says, Butch also commented on the Nelson
Oh.
comment about Derek Jeter. Butch says Jeter has never managed a Little League team. And then as an executive in Miami, he demolished the team. So I hope the Yankees do hire him.
Oh, Nelson. He's sticking it to Nelson right there in the Yankees.
All right, hang on a second. We got a call coming in. Let's see who this is. Hello, you're on Santos on Sports. All right, wait a minute. Hang on one second. Let me just do something right here. Okay, go ahead.
I am Ben. You know me. I'm the commentator who commentates.
Oh, yeah, Ben. How are you? He does some games down there at Dartmouth Community Media. How are you?
Hey, Ben.
I'm doing well.
All right. What would you like to say here?
So I've been watching, and I want to say that the Patriots this year, I don't know how many games they might win because, you look at their roster, they're pretty meh roster, but I mean, their offensive coordinator, they have a real offensive coordinator this year. They have a great offensive line coach. Last year, I think they had like one of the best offensive lines. They didn't give up a sack last year in Oregon. Adrian Clem, he's a great coach. Overall, getting free agents like Ezekiel Elliott, who's a great goal line rusher as well. And then you have Juju Smith-Schuster, who's pretty decent, but I don't know how he's going to do with injuries. Hopefully, our players can stay healthy and Mac Jones can ball off this year.
All right. So I know that you really didn't come up with a prediction, I guess. You're just kind of listening and you're kind of like, well, I don't know. So just if you had to go out on a limb, if you had to just say, come up with a number, okay? Some optimistically, we got one person predicting 10 wins. Maybe they sneak in the playoffs. On the bottom end, we got people that are saying 7 or even worse than that. Do you think they're around 500? Do you think they're over 500, under 500? If you had to predict today, what would you say?
I mean, the floor is definitely 6 and the ceiling is definitely 11 wins.
Oh, wow. You got a big window like that, huh?
Yeah. In between that range, I think the Patriots might win. That might be their wins for this year. So We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. You're from Dartmouth, correct?
Correct.
All right. So we really appreciate you giving us a call. I'm going to put you down as Ben from Dartmouth.
All right.
Hey, by the way, Ben, you still watch the other show once in a while?
Yeah, I do.
All right. I'm glad. All right. I don't know if
thanks, Ben.
You might be laughing with me or at me. I'm not sure, but we don't care. We still want you to watch the show. Hey, Ben, thanks very much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Ben from Dartmouth.
And Paul, I want you to know that I looked it up on Vegas. The over and under total is 7.5 on the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. So if you're a gambler, there you go, people. 7.5.
So you got to hope that they win 8 games for you to be successful.
To win the money.
Wow.
You want to win the money, it's got to be 8.
Yeah, and
me and Ryan say no. You
Mark,
can
take the under. You can take the under.
You and Mark and Butch want the over. Go get them.
I just don't see how he can say they're going to win 10. But hey, look, if they win,
listen, he had a great theory.
No, if they win the games they're supposed to,
yep.
It's hard to go undefeated against everybody you're supposed to because you're going to have a bad game against the people you're not supposed to. But then it's going to come down to these 3-4 games. It always does every year. Dallas might be one of them, or Vegas, or some of these teams was maybe it's a win, maybe it's a loss. The Chargers, the Giants. Some of these games are. Yeah, those are the ones that, if you could just steal one there, you know what I mean? But he hasn't beating Philadelphia. How does he figure that?
Listen, he's thinking maybe from last year they have a little letdown. Everybody thinks they're going to be the top team and go back to the Super Bowl, and maybe it's this just coming out gun ho and they make mistakes and the Patriots take it to them. So I have no problem with that. It's a prediction that I wouldn't make personally, but if it happens, I'd be like, I'm not overly surprised by it, but it can happen because we've seen it in the past from other teams.
Right. I think there was some statistics on that showed that the team that went to the Super Bowl, and I don't know if it's the one that lost the Super Bowl, kind of comes in like, that first game, I don't know. They have this letdown from the Super Bowl or something. I don't know. They come into that first game and they get off to the first game anyway,
Right.
get off to a weak start. So there is some
It can
statistics.
happen.
I mean, but you see, that quarterback they got, the way he can just, it's 4th down and 2. And we were talking about Tom Brady goes for it on 4th down. He used to get the 1 yard. This guy can get it from 2 yards.
Right.
He puts a shoulder down and bam, he goes whatever gets the first down. So every single series is a 4-down play a lot of times. Once they're at midfield, they're just going to keep going for it. You're going to put that shoulder down and off you go. So I don't know. They're going to be tough, even though that's in Foxborough. You know what I'm going to do? I've got to figure out a way to drive as far away from Foxborough as I can. In that Philadelphia game, because I'm only about a half an hour, maybe 35 minutes from Gillette Stadium. That might be too close. I might have to drive, a couple hours that way just to get as far away as I can. So the
and I got to get you down in the man cave for a Sunday, Paul. I got to get you over here.
Yeah.
Listen, I would have loved to have you here for the Dallas game, but obviously you're going to be at that game. We'll just have to make another one instead.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, all right. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors, of course, John Seed, attorney at law, 156 8th Street in New Bedford. And you can go to his website at johnseedlaw.com. Lakeville Athletic Club, 325 Bedford Street in Lakeville, where you can play tennis, pickleball, and more. Citywide Glass with 3 locations to serve you at 425 State Road in Dartmouth, additional locations in Fall River and Taunton, and Scotty's Pub located at 202 Pleasant Street in Fall River. Special thanks to all of our callers, Butch, Mark, Nelson, Ryan, and Ben. We really appreciate you chiming in.
Yeah, special shout out to all high school football. Jamborees start tonight. And then next week, it's their opener. All you guys, all your teams, have a great season, have a great year, and give it all you got.
And us in Dartmouth, I think we open up against Stang, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just flip over here. Yeah, Staying at Dartmouth, September 8th, Friday night under the lights at Dartmouth Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, I believe New Bedford is at Taunton in their opener. So, look forward to that one. And I'm not sure on Vogue who they open. I know that they played Dartmouth, I think, week 2. Mm-hmm. So I think they open up against Southeastern in their first one. So good luck to the Bears as well.
Well, I have the predictions down here on paper. Right. And they're etched in stone. And I'm looking at my prediction. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even like my own prediction, but I got to stick with it. I can't get out of it. You've got me. It's like a contract. You've got me tied. You got me tied down over here. I can't get out of it now.
Well, listen, it's going to be a fun season, and looking forward to, some weekly shows after the Patriots. Hopefully, we can get a little bit closer and a change maybe of the days, Paul. When the game's on Sunday, maybe we can get on the air on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or whatever day we can do it a little closer to the Sunday and get some good feedback about what had happened the week before.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, that wraps up our show. We had a fun time today predicting everything that we hope will happen, or maybe we think will happen, or I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm going to be down there at that. I tell you, if the Patriots win that game at Dallas, you better shut your phone off, because I'm going to be in the stands. I might have a couple of cocktails in me, All
right, Paul, you want to go on a limb here?
I'm not sure.
All right, here we go. If I lose, I will wear a Patriots hat.
Ooh.
But if you lose, you got to wear a cowboy hat.
All right, that sounds good. I like that.
You okay with that one?
I got to go get a Cowboys hat. But yeah,
listen, you can come to my house and I'll make sure I get you one.
Do you have a Patriots hat laying around?
Oh, listen, my daughter, she's a fan, so I'll make sure I have something. But remember, you're going to be in Dallas, so don't be afraid to buy something while you're there.
Yeah, if the Patriots lose, I'll have to buy a Cowboys hat on the way out.
There you go.
All right, that sounds good. That's a bet right here. We can shake on it.
There you go.
All right, that's it for Santos on Sports. For Chris Santos, I'm Paul Santos. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.